The world we live in today is strange. Everything we want is only a few seconds away. Information, entertainment, conversations, music, videos, endless scrolling. At any moment you can unlock your phone and instantly escape into a new stream of content. And yet, despite living in the most connected and resourceful time in human history, so many people feel something surprising. They feel tired, empty, and unmotivated. It almost feels like the more options we have, the less energy we have to actually live our lives. Most people quickly label this feeling as laziness. They say you just need more discipline. Wake up earlier, work harder, be more productive. But what if the real problem is not laziness at all? What if the problem is that our minds are overwhelmed by constant stimulation? What if the reason you feel drained is not because you lack motivation, but because your mind never gets the chance to breathe? Think about it. Every spare moment in modern life gets filled instantly. Waiting in line, check your phone. Feeling bored, open a video. Sitting quietly, scroll through social media. Silence has almost disappeared from our daily lives. But the human brain was never designed to handle this non-stop flood of information and stimulation. For thousands of years, our minds evolved with a rhythm. Moments of action followed by moments of rest. Periods of focus followed by periods of reflection. There was time to think, to feel, to question life, to discover meaning. But today, that rhythm has been replaced by constant noise. Notifications, messages, videos, ads, endless streams of information fighting for your attention every second. And slowly, without us even realizing it, this constant stimulation begins to reshape the way our brain works. Every like, every notification, every short video gives our brain a small dopamine hit, a tiny reward. At first it feels exciting, but over time these quick rewards start to change our expectations. Our brain becomes used to instant pleasure, and when something requires patience, effort, or deep focus, it suddenly feels boring. A meaningful conversation might feel slow. Reading a book might feel difficult. Working on a long-term goal might feel exhausting. Not because you are weak, but because your brain has been trained to expect constant novelty. This is where the real problem begins. When your mind becomes addicted to quick stimulation, deeper sources of fulfillment begin to lose their power. Real achievements take time. Learning a skill takes patience. Building something meaningful requires effort. But when your brain constantly chases quick rewards, it becomes harder and harder to stay motivated for the things that truly matter. So the question appears, why do we feel so lost? To understand this, we need to look at the ideas of a man who experienced one of the darkest chapters in human history, the psychiatrist Viktor Frankl. Frankl survived the horrors of Nazi concentration camps during World War II. He lost his family, endured unimaginable suffering, and witnessed the worst cruelty humans could inflict on one another. Yet during that time, he made an observation that would later change the way we understand motivation and purpose. He noticed that the prisoners who managed to hold on psychologically were not always the strongest or the healthiest. The ones who endured were often the people who still had a reason to live, a purpose, something meaningful waiting for them beyond their suffering. Frankl realized something powerful. Human beings are not driven primarily by pleasure or comfort. We are driven by meaning. When life has meaning, people can endure incredible hardship. But when meaning disappears, even comfortable lives can begin to feel empty. And in many ways, that is exactly the crisis of the modern world. Today we chase comfort, entertainment, and convenience more than ever before. Yet meaning often gets lost in the noise. We pursue external validation, social approval, numbers, likes, status, but rarely stop to ask the deeper question, why am I doing all of this? Without meaning, motivation slowly fades. You may still go through the motions of life, waking up, working, scrolling, consuming content. But inside, something feels disconnected. If any part of this message resonates with you so far, take a quick second to support the channel. Tap the like button and subscribe, because this kind of content helps more people start asking the deeper questions that really matter. Now here is where things become interesting. The modern world has trained us to escape discomfort at all costs. If we feel bored, we distract ourselves. If we feel anxious, we open another app. If we feel lonely, we drown the silence with noise. But the truth is that discomfort and silence are not enemies. They are signals. When you remove the constant stimulation, something unusual happens. Your mind begins to slow down. Thoughts that were buried under endless distractions begin to surface. Questions you avoided start appearing. What do I actually want from my life? What matters to me beyond daily routines? What kind of person do I want to become? These questions can feel uncomfortable, which is exactly why so many people run from them. But these questions are also the doorway to meaning, because real motivation does not come from watching another productivity video or chasing another trend. Real motivation appears when your actions connect to something deeper inside you. Frankl believed that every human life has a unique meaning waiting to be discovered. Not something handed to you by society, not something dictated by trends, but something deeply personal. For some people, it might be building something meaningful. For others, it might be helping others, creating art, raising a family, solving problems, or exploring ideas. The specific path is different for everyone, but the key is authenticity. When your actions align with your values, motivation becomes natural. You no longer push yourself forward with pure discipline. Instead, you feel pulled forward by purpose. And this is why silence is so powerful. When you step away from constant stimulation, you give your mind space to reconnect with what truly matters. It might feel strange at first. You might feel restless or uncomfortable. That is normal. Your brain is simply adjusting after years of noise. But gradually, clarity begins to emerge. You start recognizing which goals actually belong to you, and which ones were simply inherited from social pressure. You begin to see the difference between what impresses others and what genuinely fulfills you. And once that clarity appears, something incredible happens. Motivation returns. Not the temporary motivation that lasts for a few days after watching a motivational video, but a deeper, quieter form of motivation that grows from meaning. Frankl once wrote that everything can be taken from a person except one freedom, the freedom to choose their attitude and their path forward. And that freedom still belongs to you. Even in a world full of distractions, you can choose moments of silence. You can choose reflection instead of endless scrolling. You can choose to search for meaning instead of chasing empty stimulation. Demotivation is not always a failure. Sometimes it is a signal that your mind is tired of chasing things that do not truly matter, a signal that your soul is asking you to slow down and listen. So maybe the real question is not, how do I become more motivated? Maybe the real question is this: what kind of life would actually feel meaningful to me? If this message connected with you, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know. What is one distraction you might step away from today so you can reconnect with what truly matters in your life? And if you want more videos like this about psychology, meaning, and the deeper side of human life, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because sometimes the answers we are searching for are not outside us. They are simply waiting for a moment of silence to finally be heard.